How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Zero Sugar Reviews. I'm your host, Sean, and today we're just going to do a quick tier list video. As I said, content's going to be a little slow for the next week, so this is just a quick thing I can do. And my last tier list video that I did is now my most viewed video of all time, so maybe there will be more tier lists in the future. Last time we did Radiohead, this time we're doing Coldplay. They only include Music of the Spheres, they didn't include the new one. But since that new one is considered to be part 2 of Music of the Spheres, I'm going to consider them as one album. Starting off with X and Y. X and Y is going in C tier. I find X and Y to be a fairly boring album. Talk is one of my favorite Coldplay songs ever, but Speed of Sound is just Clocks revisited and doesn't really do a ton for me. And much of the rest of the album just kind of feels monotonous. It's definitely a step down from what came before, not to spoil too much. Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends, that is an easy A tier, I'm going to say. I know that that's probably going to get some hate too, people thinking it should be S tier, and I completely get it. I just have a couple albums that I prefer more, including one extremely controversial take that we'll get to in a minute. But excellent albums: Cemeteries in London, Lost, Violet Hill, Strawberry Swing, Viva La Vida. They're all incredible. My personal favorite is probably Violet Hill off that album, either that or Viva La Vida. They're both perfect songs. Next up, we have Music of the Spheres. Coldplay, unfortunately, are not doing it right now. Music of the Spheres had a few interesting ideas on their first album. I liked the song with BTS. I thought Higher Power was fine. And I honestly thought People of the Pride was fine. But the new one, I liked We Pray. But that's really all I can give you from the new album. Music of the Spheres generally has been very disappointing to me. Next up, we have Milo Xyloto. First controversial opinion of the list. Milo Xyloto goes in S tier. Hurts Like Heaven's guitar solo is incredible and transports me every time. The drop on Paradise is great. It incorporates electronic music in such a good way for Coldplay. You have Charlie Brown. Everyone loves Charlie Brown. That's the one I probably have to do the least convincing on. I'm a big Rihanna fan, so Princess of China is great. And I love the acoustic guitars on Major Minus. There's just so many songs here that really hit the mark. If there's one criticism I could make, some of the slower songs tend to stick together a little bit in my mind, whether it's Up in the Air or Birds, but overall a great record. A Head Full of Dreams. A Head Full of Dreams is like probably C tier. I think we're okay with that. Head Full of Dreams is okay. Adventure of a Lifetime is a good song. Up and Up is a good song. The title track is a good song, and Everglow is a pretty good song. But outside of those four, I can't really say I care much for it. I like Beyonce, but Him for the Weekend doesn't really do much for me. And then the other songs on the album are just kind of forgettable. Kind of cool that they got to sample an Obama speech for it. I will say that. That was kind of cool when it happened, but that's about all. A Rush of Blood to the Head, S tier. A Rush of Blood to the Head is Coldplay's best album, and I don't think I'm going to get a ton of arguing about that. I mean, probably people think it's either A Rush of Blood to the Head or Viva La Vida. A Rush of Blood to the Head just does it for me. From those opening notes of Politic. Politic reminds me of Violet Hill in the way that it's a little bit more of a rocky song for that period of Coldplay, and I like that. I like the way the pianos mix with the guitar when he's playing piano very fast and urgently and really pounding those keys. You have In My Place, you have Clocks, you have The Scientist, which is one of my favorite songs of all time, easily one of the most beautiful breakup songs I've ever heard. I mean, if you're a person who's never heard The Scientist, get out from under your rock and hear The Scientist. And it's got Warning Sign, Green Eyes, Amsterdam, so many underrated tracks. These last three I won't have as much to say about. I'm going to go C tier for Everyday Life. I like the concept of Everyday Life, and Arabesque is in my top 10, maybe even top 5 Coldplay songs ever. It's excellent, but the rest of the album just really doesn't do anything for me. Guns is the first Coldplay song to have swearing in it. That's a fun fact. But yeah, none of this album really did much for me. Orphan, Daddy, Champion of the World, none of those songs really hit. I appreciate what they're trying to do, bringing in all of these musicians from different cultures and addressing real topics they need addressing, like gun violence or police brutality. But I just don't think the songs are there to back it up. Ghost Stories is going to B. Ghost Stories is a little underrated. I know people don't like it, and I have a hard time telling people what my favorite songs are from it, but every time I put it on, I just find myself enjoying it. It's a nice, easy listen. I really like the song Magic, and I like A Sky Full of Stars, even though it probably doesn't belong on this album and ruins the vibe a little bit by being a bit too upbeat. But overall, I really like this record. And finally, we have Parachutes, another solid B-tier record. Parachutes is the sound of a band finding themselves. It's the sound of a band that's very indebted to Radiohead, Oasis, Britpop. But I like those sounds, so this album works for me. Don't Panic, Shiver. Shiver is my favorite song on this album. I think it's great. But that, Don't Panic, Spies, Trouble, there's a lot of good stuff here. And overall, that's my Coldplay tier list. Please let me know in the comments where you agree, where you disagree. Please leave a like. It's a free way to help. Please subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later if you end up not liking my content. I'm close to 150 subscribers, and I'll be making a formal thank you video for 100 subscribers soon enough. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.